Pastor Nelson has a passion that reminds me of Paul. And every time he speaks very passionately about his beliefs, and he's very passionate about his congregation and bringing people to Christ and sharing the love of Christ with other people.
He never has an issue or a problem speaking up for righteousness' sake, regardless of how popular it is.
He was practical. You know, he looks at things and he says, you know, one group says we should do it this way, another group wants to do it this way. Let's do it in the way that's best for everybody.
One that shines out the most to me is his integrity and his trueness to holding true to the scripture and to the word. He is one that holds that as the standard and lifts it up as a shining example that I have been privileged to be able to share and watch and be mentored by.
Moses was, you know, a great leader who, in the public view, he came across stern and hard, and you know, leading to where it needed to, leading the people where they needed to be. But you know, he struggled, you know, outside the public life, and God was his strength. God brought him through the tough times. They both had a bit of a temper, but God still used them in mighty ways.
He leads even when his flock isn't following, and like the children of Israel questioned Moses, even when he proved so many times before that he was in connection with God. They still questioned, and there were severe consequences because of that. And I think there have been so many people in the church that sometimes question the man who has proven himself to be in connection with God, and he never gives up. He never hangs his head down. He's committed to his service to his Lord and to his people. And like Moses, he just continues to lead the people. He is a living example of Jesus for us. And it doesn't always make it easy, and it doesn't always make it fun, but he is the rock of our family. The thing that makes it wonderful, you know, saying he's the rock, is what you see at church is what you see at home. He's not Pastor Nelson at church, and he's somebody different at home. He is the same 24/7.
Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was a young lady who dreamt of marrying a wonderful prince. She lived in the middle of an island, and she looked for this prince to come in his beautiful white horse. That young lady grew up and flew away from the islands and met a young man who drove his father's white Camaro. He was the prince of her dreams. He was tall, had beautiful dancing blue eyes, and a smile that lasts forever. She married her prince, and they lived happily ever after. Walt, you are my prince. You are my happily ever after. I thank you for the 40 years of marriage, for the 36 years of ministry that you have done to this church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, to the churches that you have led throughout your ministry. You have been a man of integrity, a man of kindness, and a man of faithfulness. Faithfulness to God, faithfulness to your family, and faithfulness to our church family. You are the prince, and God loves you, and we love you too. I have no doubt the reason our 3 sons are in the church today is because of your faithfulness and your love for God and for us. Because what they saw in the pulpit is what they've seen at home. Thank you, honey, and I love you.
We love you, Uncle Paul.
We love you, Pastor Nelson. We love you, and God bless Pastor Nelson.
I love you, Grandpa. I love you, Grandpa.
We
Love you, Grandpa.
I love you, Grandpa.